Mir ist kalt. I am cold. Why is that dative? Ist dir nicht wohl? Are you not well? Don't you feel well? Why is that dative? Es tut mir leid. I'm sorry. What is going on here? Why are all of these sentences used with the dative case? There are a number of German phrases that use the dative case but aren't immediately obvious as to why that is. Today we'll be exploring some of these dative phrases and I'll explain why they use the dative case. Spoiler alert, it has to do with indirect objects, so if you haven't watched my video about the dative case and how it's used with indirect objects, click the link in the description or the one in the top right corner of this video. Let's start with some pretty common examples of these so-called dative phrases that use temperatures. This could be any of the following: kalt, kühl, warm, or heiß. When you mean to say that the temperature is one of these adjectives in German in relation to a person, you use this with the dative object. Dem Mann ist heiß. The man is hot. It is hot to the man. Ihr ist warm. She is warm. It is warm to her. Ihm ist kühl. He is cool. It is cool to him. Uns ist kalt. We are cold. It is cold to us. That's all well and good, but why is it dative? To understand this, we have to expand our understanding of the dative case. The dative case is usually explained as the indirect object case, which is normally true, but it's also a dumping ground for leftovers of grammatical nuance. Really, it's the only case that we can use in these sentences that expresses what we want to say. If we use the nominative case here, we have a whole slew of problems. Der Mann ist heiß. The man is hot. Saying this with the nominative case indicates that the man is hot, as in sexy. While this may be true, it's not what we're trying to express in this video, so the nominative case is out. Let's try it with the accusative case. Den Mann ist heiß. The man is hot. This is simply nonsense. It doesn't work. The accusative case is reserved for a very specific kind of object, which requires a subject that is acting upon that object using a verb that has a direct action being performed on the accusative object. This again is not what we are trying to express. The only case left is the genitive case, which is used with possession when it isn't being forced by a preposition or a verb. That's out because we clearly don't have possession here. This just leaves us with the dative case. When we defined an indefinite article, we said that it was to whom or for whom something is done. This sentence fits that criteria. Es ist dem Mann heiß. It is hot to the man. This sentence is a longer, overly grammatical version of dem Mann ist heiß. It doesn't use the word es in a normal conversation, and the man has been put in the place where the subject, es, normally would have been. This brings us to the point that we can figure out what is going on in all of these sentences that require the dative case but don't seem to have any logic as to why. Every one of these sentences are going to describe an attribute of something but not the person involved. It is an attribute that affects the person but is not their own attribute. Since the nominative case would indicate that this description applies to the subject, this often leads to the meaning of the sentence not being what you had intended, such as in the previous example, der Mann ist heiß, the man is hot or sexy. The other temperatures also have issues like this. Meine Mutter ist kalt. My mother is cold. This means she is emotionally aloof. She may be callous. The other option is that she is literally physically cold, meaning her body temperature has dropped, which generally means that she's dead. It's for this reason that you can use the phrase jemanden kalt machen as a euphemism for killing someone. Wenn ich Jimmy wiedersehe, mache ich ihn kalt. When I see Jimmy again, I'ma kill him. When you say warm with the nominative case, you might get a strange look. Ich bin warm. I'm gay. At best, people will simply understand that you don't know what you're saying and chalk it up to a language learning error. At worst, people might think that you're gay. While that's not the worst language learning error that you could make, it isn't what we're trying to say here. Quick side note here, using the word warm to describe homosexuals is really outdated. Almost no one uses this anymore. Even when it was used, the phrase ich bin warm, I'm gay, wasn't nearly as widely used as the phrase ich bin ein warmer Mann, I am a gay man. And it was considered derogatory even back then. And for those of you who are thinking it would be funny to use this to call your friends gay, gay is not an insult. Long story short, don't say it, don't use it, use the dative instead. Mir ist warm. I'm warm. Ihm ist warm. He is warm. Der Frau ist warm. The woman is warm. Dieses Buch ist den Schülern nicht besonders interessant. This book is not particularly interesting to the students. It isn't that the students are interesting or that they are this book. The book isn't objectively uninteresting. It is only uninteresting in relation to the students. Therefore, we have to use the dative case. Der Pickel ist dem Jungen sehr peinlich. The pimple is very embarrassing to the boy. The pimple can't be embarrassed. The boy can be, but he isn't the one that is embarrassing. It is the pimple that is embarrassing. But again, it isn't embarrassing to everyone objectively. It is only embarrassing in relation to the boy, so we use the dative case. Ihm ist dieses Restaurant völlig unbekannt. This restaurant is completely unknown to him. He doesn't know this restaurant at all. Obviously, the restaurant isn't completely unknown. If it were, it would be out of business. It is only completely unknown in relation to him, so we use the dative case. Hopefully by now you get the idea, but you might still have some questions about what other kinds of sentences you can use this with. So here are some more examples. Die Patienten sind dem Arzt sehr dankbar. The patients are very thankful to the doctor. Die Matheaufgaben sind mir leicht. The math assignments are easy to me. Die Wahrheit ist dem Richter wichtig. The truth is important to the judge. Fliegen ist mir unmöglich. Flying is impossible to me. Mein neuer Bürostuhl ist mir so bequem. My new office chair is so comfortable to me. Jetzt reicht's euch wahrscheinlich für heute. That's probably enough for you today. As you can see from the last example, that's all for today. If you want a worksheet to practice these phrases on your own, you can get that from my website, GermanWithAntrim.com. If you want to learn more about the dative case, I have a playlist full of dative case stuff right over here, and a masterclass about the dative case in which I teach you everything you'll ever need to know about the dative right over here. Das ist alles für heute. Danke fürs Zuschauen. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Tschüss!